Ever notice how ads always pop up at the worst moments? When the killer's identity is about to be revealed. During that perfect meditation flow. On Amazon Music, we believe in keeping you in the moment. That's why we've got millions of ad-free podcast episodes, so you can stay completely immersed in every story, every reveal, every breath. Download the Amazon Music app and start listening to your favorite podcasts ad-free, included with Prime.
Did you know that entrepreneurs with strong personal brands earn about 412% more than those who hide behind their business name? But here's the real shocker, ladies and gentlemen. Everything that you think you know about personal branding is probably killing your income potential right now. Stay tuned because I'm about to reveal why perfection is costing you money and how being famous might actually be hurting your business.
Welcome to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur, where being a busy parent isn't your limitation. It is your superpower. Superpower. I'm Tracy Brinkmann, and this is not your typical hustle harder podcast. No. This is for busy parent entrepreneurs who refuse to choose between bedtime stories and business dreams. Every single episode delivers actionable strategies for turning your limited time into unlimited potential. From digital marketing and side hustles to online courses and passive income, we're here to help you build an empire between soccer practice and science projects. Because we Dark Horses, we do not wait for the perfect time, we create it.
What is up? What the hell is up, my Dark Horse friends and family? Welcome back to another episode of the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast, and I am your humble host, Tracy Brinkmann. And today, we're about to flip everything you think you know about personal branding right on its ear, right on its head, heck, right on its butt. And you know, it's funny. Just recently, I was talking to a parent entrepreneur who told me she couldn't build her personal brand because she didn't have the time to be perfect on camera, he says with air quotes. Ladies and gentlemen, this right here is exactly why most entrepreneurs are leaving so much money on the table. Here's what's going on. While you're out there waiting to be perfect, someone else is out there being profitable. Yeah. So now before we dive in, let me ask you something. When was the last time you chose to work with someone because their content was perfect? No, seriously, think about it. I'll wait. You don't follow people because they're perfect. Well, if you're real, just my thought, my opinion. Send your counter opinions to Tracy at darkhorseschooling.com. I welcome them. We follow them because they're real. We follow them because they're valuable, and we follow them because they actually help us solve problems, or at least maybe think a little bit differently about things, right? But here's where I think it gets a little more interesting for us parent entrepreneurs. While everyone is out there trying to be the next Gary Vee or Tony Robbins, they're missing the biggest advantage they have. Their authentic story, their real life experience juggling business and family. Your messy reality is actually your biggest brand asset. You hear me say this all the time. I'm going to beat it into your head until you listen. Let me share something that just might shock you. According to recent studies, 83% of consumers say authenticity is the key factor in deciding which brands they support. Yet, most entrepreneurs are out there trying to create this perfect polished image that actually is pushing people away. Yeah, think about it. How about yourself? Authenticity, does that pull you in? If you're listening to this podcast and you're still with me a few minutes into this, it probably does. Today, we're going to break down 3 massive myths about personal branding that are probably costing you money right this very minute. Then we're going to look into why perfection is actually killing your profit potential, why being famous might be hurting your business, and why making it all about you is the fastest way to go fall on your face. That's right. You're going to fail. But more importantly, I'm going to show you exactly how to build a personal brand that generates income while you sleep, that doesn't steal from your family time, and that actually benefits from your real life parent entrepreneur journey. Heck, even if you're non-parent entrepreneur journey, you can get the benefits out of that as well. Because here's the truth that nobody is talking about out there, ladies and gentlemen. The biggest personal branding mistake isn't posting the wrong content. It's waiting to start because you think you're not ready. Yeah. Now, let's dive into that first myth that's probably costing you money right now. To do that, let me share something that might be a bit of a surprise to you about one of the biggest personal brands in the business world today at the time I'm recording this in January of 2025. And that's Gary Vaynerchuk. A name many of us have heard. Some of you may know him as Gary Vee. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go back and watch those early Wine Library TV episodes from 2006. Raise your hand if you've seen them. Yeah. You know what you're going to see? Terrible lighting, shaky camera work, and a guy that's just genuinely excited about wine. Here's what most people miss about Gary Vee's success. He didn't wait until he was perfect. He waited until it was valuable. Yeah. Think about it. In 2006, Gary was shooting videos in a liquor store basement with a flip camera and zero production value. Yeah. But you know what he did have? Real knowledge, authentic enthusiasm, and consistent content. Let's say it was good content. It was valuable to those wine aficionados he was talking to. That combination took Wine Library from a $3 million business to a $60 million business in just a few years. Let that sink in. Now, here is where it gets interesting for us parent entrepreneurs, us non-parent entrepreneurs even. While Gary Vee was building his brand, he wasn't hiding his reality. He wasn't like, oh, the wine. No, he was out there out front. When his kid interrupted his video, he kept it in. When he was tired, he showed it. When he flubbed up, made mistakes, yeah, they stayed in the final cut. The power of consistent imperfection is that it makes you relatable. It makes you approachable. And most importantly, it makes you trustworthy. Let me break down why this really matters. 1, real connections beat perfect presentations every single time. Consistent content is going to outperform occasional perfection. And 3, authenticity creates trust. And trust, yeah, that can be converted and create sales. Here's the reality check most branding experts will not tell you. People don't buy from perfect brands. They buy from brands they trust. You know what builds trust faster than anything else? Being fucking real. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll bleep that out. Maybe I'll just leave it in there. But that's what makes it. Okay? Let me prove it to you. Think about your favorite creators that you're watching right now, the ones that you follow and you're waiting for their next release of content. Are they the ones with the perfect lighting? Are they the ones with the scripted presentations? Are they ones with the perfect makeup? No. Or are they the ones who feel like they're actually talking to you? Like me, perhaps, right? No makeup. Certainly not a perfect production value. Yeah, okay? Now, let's tackle the second biggest myth that's probably killing your personal brand right this very minute. And that is the obsession with going viral, the obsession with building a massive following. No. Would you like to know the most expensive word in personal branding? It's an easy word. It's got 6 simple letters. And that word is famous. Because while you're out there chasing fame, your competitors are quietly building a fortune. Let me share something that just might shock you a bit. I recently talked with an entrepreneur who has about 20,000 followers, who makes more money than a influencer, we use the phrase influencer, in the same field with 200,000 followers. Why, you may ask? Well, I'm going to tell you. Because she understands something crucial. It's not about reach, it's about relevance. Yeah. Here's the truth about local influence versus global recognition. You can have a local retailer with 500 engaged followers in their city that's going to outperform the 50,000 random followers globally. That's just math. You could have a parent coach connecting with 100 moms in their target market that will make more than someone with, say, 10,000 generic followers. Sure, they'll get lots of likes and lots of shares and all that noise, but sometimes it's about what you can put back. You can't put likes into the bank. You can have a business consulting serving one specific industry that will earn more than a general expert with 10x the following. So stop trying to be a damn celebrity and start being a solution. Let's talk about real metrics that matter. Metric number 1, engagement over followers. Yeah. 50 comments is going to beat 5,000 likes. 10 direct messages beats the pants off 100 shares. And 1 client beats the pants off 1,000 followers. Right? You feel me? Okay. Number 2, revenue versus reach. Why? What's paying your mortgage? Likes or sales? It's an easy question. You know the answer. Are you famous or are you profitable? Can you take engagement to the bank? Well, we already answered that question just a little bit there. Now, here's what I do. I want to show you what I call the authority alternative. This is where the real money is made in personal branding, and it's perfect for us parent entrepreneurs because it actually takes less time than trying to be famous. So instead of going out there and chasing celebrity on TikTok or whatever platform you're on, you're going to do these three things. One, you're going to pick your mountain. Choose one specific problem that you can solve, become the go-to expert in that space, solving that problem, and then own your niche completely. I want you to get out there and just be the Terminator on your mountain, okay? Number two, you're going to dominate your domain. You're going to create deep, valuable content. There's a difference between going deep and going wide. Wide is usually shallow, okay? Create deep, valuable content. We're almost 500 episodes in here into Dark Horse Entrepreneur. You feel me? All right. Build genuine relationships and solve real problems. And if you build those relationships, you'll learn what those problems are. Heck, you probably won't have to ask. They will tell you. And number three, convert authority into income. So you're going to package up your expertise. We talk about that in all our episodes about creating courses. And I'll put some references down in the show notes about those. And then you're going to price based on results, not reach.
The Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
I don't care if you have 100 followers. If you get somebody a result that's worth $10,000, you should be charging $10,000 for it, or at least 5. You feel me? Okay. Now, and then lastly on number 3 is let others get out there and chase TikTok fame, Facebook fame, Instagram fame, whatever fame, while you get out there and you chase freedom. Here's what no one is telling you about dominating your niche. When you're the best at solving one specific problem, you don't need to be famous to be rich. You don't need to be famous just to get a good income from it. Let me give you a real example. One of the Dark Horse Entrepreneur community members focuses solely on helping dentists with their social media. Is she famous? Nope. Does she have 1 million followers? Heck, nope. Does she charge $5,000 per month per client because she's not trying to help everyone? She's being the best at helping someone. Remember that word, someone. Not some everybody, not some crowd, someone. Think about it. Would you rather be famous to many or valuable to none? Because you're spending time being famous, you're being valuable to no one. Or essential to a few and wealthy as a result. And maybe wealthy comes in different terms for different folks. Maybe wealthy is the wrong word. Well off? Comfortable? Yeah? Okay. Now, but here's where I think it really gets interesting. And I say that a lot. Maybe I need a new phrase or something. But I want you to pay attention to this next part, because this is where most personal brands completely miss the boat. And I say that because we've kind of arrived at what was really, I think, the biggest personal branding myth of them all. This idea that it's all about you. It's all about your story. It's all about your success and your journey and what you've done and all the accolades that you have. Wrong. Big red X up on the screen right here. Here's me to back off for just a moment here, away from my notes. As a podcaster that has been in this particular space on this particular podcast for 5 years now, I get lots of pitches to come on the show, and I read them all. The ones that I find the most disappointing are the ones that say, hey, Tracy, I listened to this episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on your podcast, The Dark Horse Entrepreneur, helping parents make money online. Clearly, this is all copy and paste from a recent episode, because they would know if you just look at the show is called The Dark Horse Entrepreneur, but they copy it from the RSS feed where they get the whole thing, where the extra part is on there for SEO value and search value. Anyway, then they go into a diatribe of all their accolades. Oh, so-and-so was this. They were the CEO of that. And they made all this money and they did all these amazing things and they saved cancer in Africa and just blah, 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 blah. We think they would be a great match for your show. Well, why? What value are they going to bring to my audience that I have spent 5 years building? Yeah? They spent that whole email, whether it was them or some representative of them that's pitching them to me about their story, their success, their journey. It's not about them. It's about you, right? It's about you, my audience. So let me be provocative here for a moment. If your personal brand is all about you, you are not building a brand. You're writing a diary, and you're writing a diary that no one damn well wants to read. Okay. Maybe the gossip columnist wants to read it, but that's it. We're not here to do gossip columning. No, we're here to build a legacy for yourself and for your kids. Let me share something that changed everything for me. Back when my daughter was young, she asked me what I did for work. Right? You work at Coca-Cola, what do we do? And I started explaining about marketing and soap pop. And even back then I was early on in podcasting, back when we were talking about early 2000s here. And I kind of watched her eyes just glaze over. Okay, well, so instead, here's what I did is I said, I help people build businesses so they can spend more time with their kids. Well, today, if I'd be asked that same question, I would say, I help parents build businesses so they could spend more time with their kids. You know what happened? She got it immediately. And that's when it hit me. If I could put it in such a way that a child could understand that I'm serving others, and if a child can understand that serving others is more valuable than serving yourself, then why can't you as an entrepreneur do that same thing? Why is it so many entrepreneurs are out there missing this valuable fact? So on that same note, here's how you can build that fact into your community building. And it's 2 easy steps. One is the multiplication factor and the other is the trust accelerator. So the multiplication factor is all about every person that you help, you want them to become a brand ambassador. You want to help them so much, give them so much value that they are out there singing your praises, not to make you feel good, but so you spend less money on marketing. Their success becomes your success story. Their network will become your network as a result of the work you put in helping them. That will multiply your network 10, 20x to the nth scale, right? Now, the trust factor, helping others is going to build your credibility faster than however much you want to talk about yourself, however many TikToks you want to make, however many podcast pitches you could send out in a day, even with AI automation. Helping others will build your credibility 100 times faster than all of that. Real case studies are going to beat the pants off self-promotion every single day. And then your community wins will create compounding interest. And what I mean by this, the people that you've helped inside your community, right? Those community wins shouted from the rooftops as their success will create compound interest. Okay. So stop trying to be interesting and start being interested. Your personal brand will grow far faster when you're solving problems than showing off. And I don't care how good you are at whatever it is you do. It's not about you. Remember that, okay? Stop being that podcast pitch. Now, let's talk about something that most personal brand experts never even bother to mention: legacy. Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention here, because this is where it gets real. As you've heard me say any number of times, your kids aren't watching what you post on social media, even if they're a follower of yours. They're watching how you treat people. They're not counting your followers. They're counting the lives that you positively impact. And if you negatively impact them, they're watching that too. All right. So let's break down let's call this the legacy brand framework. 3 easy steps: value creation, knowledge transfer, and community impact. Number 1, value creation. Are you creating content that will still be relevant in 5 years? And if you think you are, you probably are. If you're creating something that's all about some hack, hey, the latest Google hack so you can get free traffic, that's probably not going to be relevant in 5 years. You feel me? Even if you're in the traffic industry. Stop talking about hacks. Start talking about real value. Are you building relationships that are going to last beyond the transaction? Ooh. And if you are, then that's value creation. And are you solving problems that really matter? And they don't need to matter to you or your children. They need to matter to the person whose problem you're solving for. You feel me? Okay. So, and if they matter to them, then that's important. Now, number 2, the knowledge transfer. A lot of people miss this one, so I want you to lean in for a moment here. If you're doing the dishes, just pause for a moment, let that dish soak in your hand in the sink. First, a part of knowledge transfer is to document your journey to help others. Document your journey to help others. And what I mean by that is you want to document all the steps that you're taking as you're helping others. And you want to share your failures as well as your successes. I learned this one. This is the hardest lesson I think I've learned in my entire 61 years on this big blue spinning globe. because I had an amazing podcast, Your Success DNA, that's still going today, that I started way back in 2007. And I was getting on the microphone, I was sharing all these amazing personal development tips and tactics and strategies, and I had a paywall for things, and people were paying me to listen to the extra episodes. I drop a free episode on Monday and then tease, here's what we're going to talk about on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in the community. And it was a paid community. It was like $9 a month. I wasn't getting rich off of it, but I was doing okay. It was paying a few bills. And then my life turned to caca. I was going through a bankruptcy. I was getting this crazy divorce, which prompted the bankruptcy and all this stuff. And I felt like a real imposter. Instead of sharing my failures and showing that authentic side of me, I hung up my microphone and lost all my momentum. Okay? Don't do that. If I get into that same scenario now, I will react completely differently. And I want you to learn from my mistake. Share your failures as well as your successes. Big failures, little failures, they're all lessons learned. Okay? And then create systems that others can follow. And this is one of the key reasons why you want to document your journey, because it will help you create those systems for others to follow. And for some of you real entrepreneurial minds, you're thinking, yeah, I could sell that system to folks. Yes, you can. Okay, moving on. Number 3, community impact. You want to build platforms for others to shine. Don't bring people into your Facebook group, your school community, your circle community, so that you can stand as the God on the ivory tower, just looking down going, learn from me. Here's my amazing wisdom. No, that's the wrong type of community. People will eject out of that really fast. And those that continue to stay around are probably doing one of two things. They're probably spamming those that you spend to bring your time and your efforts and your funds to bring into that community, probably spamming them, either openly or behind the scenes, or they're not really the type of customer or client that you want. So build platforms for others to shine. Shout their successes from the rooftops. That's number 2. Celebrate community wins far louder than you celebrate your own. Yes, congratulate them, tout them, even if it has nothing to do with any of your coaching or systems or processes or anything. Celebrate their wins. And then create opportunities for collaboration, not just with you, but within the community.
The Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
Hey, John, you do this and Jane does this, and the two of you could win together by working together and doing, hey, John, you're really good at this and Jane is struggling with that. Could you see these collab? They're like, wow, if I hadn't have met Tracy and come into their community, I would have never met Jane, or Jane would have never met John. Right? You feel me? Okay. So by extension, you become the cause of that celebration, the cause of that win, even though you may not have impacted it directly. Feel me? Okay. Now, here's the thing about legacy. Your brand isn't just about making money today. It's about creating value that is going to outlast you. There used to be, I think it was Jim Rohn. There was somebody in the personal development field back in the 90s that I used to listen to that used to say something to the effect, and I love this, and I have adopted this same mentality. I want to be mentioned in someone else's intro. And here's what I mean by that. I'm not saying I want them to say, hey, I'm successful because Tracy did this. No. I want to be mentioned in the actions that they took. Even if they just said, you know what, I had this amazing mentor who taught me this and that and this. And because I did that, I became the amazing person I am today. It has nothing to do with me. They took the action, they took the lessons, and they enacted them and built themselves up. I just happened to be the impetus. I just happened to be the person that said, here's what you need to do. You feel me? Okay. I would love to be that person's, is it epitaph? I don't know. I can't remember the phrase. I'm drawing a blank and I'm going to sit here and drag you along. But think about this. 20 years from now, let's go back to your children. 20 years from now, what do you want your kids to say about your personal brand? That it had a lot of followers? No. Or that it helped lots of people? Or that it brought a community together? That fixed someone's problem? Let me share something powerful with you. Another one of our community members recently told me that their 12-year-old daughter said, Mom, I love how you help other moms start businesses. Right? How else can you imagine that cute little girl going, hey, Mom, I love how you help other moms start businesses. She didn't say, Mom, I love how many Instagram followers you have. Mom, oh my God, your video got shared 1 million times. No, Oh, wow, I love how many likes you have on Facebook. No, she said, Mom, I love how you help other moms start their businesses. Yeah. So here's where authentic branding starts to compound interest, maybe in ways that we can't even measure on social media. And here's what I mean by this. Your kids, and they're watching, trust me, your kids learn about service through you as you're helping others. Your community grows stronger, as I mentioned earlier. Your impact multiplies, right, by a factor of X. And your legacy literally starts to build itself. As you're helping these people, you're going to become a quote in their legacy, in their epitaph, in their introduction to their book or their series or whatever it is. Maybe not by name, but it doesn't matter. So stop building a personal brand for the algorithm and start building one for your legacy. Huh? I can almost hear you in my headphones right now. Tracy, yeah, I get it. This is all sounding great, but how do I actually damn well implement this? Well, that's what I'm about to show you right now. Because this strategy means absolutely nada, zip, zero, zilch. If you can't implement between cheer practice and meal prep, right? Because that's about all the time you have. Hey, I get up in the morning, I got 15 minutes here, I got 15 minutes there, I got 20 minutes here, I got 20 minutes there. I don't have all these hours of time to do things. So what if I told you that being a busy parent isn't your brand building obstacle? Maybe it's your brand building secret advantage. It's your brand building opportunity. Let me introduce to you what I call the legacy content strategy, right? But before I scare you off, this is not about creating more content. This is about making the content that you already create work harder for you. And here's how it works. Step one, the content multiplication system is step one. Instead of creating one piece of content, you're going to create what we can call a content seed that grows into multiple pieces. And here's what I mean by that. You're going to record like a 5-minute video. Then you can extract the audio of that for some type of audio clip, a podcast clip even. You could pull out 3 quotes from that 5-minute video clip and just snapshot them, put them out in some sort of pretty format that you've pre-done on Canva and send it out to social media. You can transform the key points into a newsletter. You are building your list, right? Of course you are, okay? And then you can turn examples from that into case studies. One piece of authentic content can feed your entire brand for a week. Okay. Number 2, the time block method. I want you to use what I call power pockets. All right. Some of you have heard me mention this before, especially my return listeners. These are those 15 to 30-minute windows that you have in your day. Not 4 hours, 15 to 30 minutes. Let's talk about your Monday routine. Okay. On Monday, you're going to record 3 videos in that 15 to 30 minute time window. On Tuesday, maybe during lunch, you're going to extract all the content pieces we just talked about from those videos. And then on Wednesday night, again, from a different 15 to 30 minute window, you're going to schedule those pieces that you extracted. Now, here's where most parent entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs in general will get it wrong. They're going to try to separate their business life from their family life, their business life from their friend life, their business life from their social life, right? For those of you that aren't parents that happen to be listening, welcome, by the way. You know, it doesn't have to be just your family life, but it could be your social, all the other parts of your life. What if I told you the mess is in the message and the message comes from the mess? Yeah, okay. Let me share it with what I'm going to call the parent-friendly approach, okay? There's 2 easy things to remember: integration over separation and family involvement. So integration over separation, where if the kid interrupts your video, keep it in, right? Maybe you have a cat or a dog that barges in, keep it in. Authenticity, remember that? Are you running to soccer practice? You're going to cheer practice? You're driving across the country to go to cheer competition? And he says, raising his hand, that's content. Now, mind you, I wasn't doing it back then. I wish I would have. I didn't think about it. Missed opportunity, okay? Are you making dinner? Share the multitasking reality of your world. Hey, I'm making dinner and I just thought of this amazing idea. I wanted to share it with you. Selfie mode. Go for it. Do it. Number 2, family involvement. Let your kids be a part of your brand story. They're a part of your world. Bring them in. Turn their questions that they ask you about your business and what it is you're doing, turn them into content ideas. Heck, a lot of times, if you ask them, hey, I'm thinking about doing a video like this, what do you think? You'll get some of these cool ideas that their unique, youthful little brains will just pop right out. and then show the real journey that you're having about balancing all these worlds, whether you're a parent or not. How do you balance your social world and your business world? How do you balance your family life, your extended family life in that case? Or if you're a parent entrepreneur, your immediate family life and your business life. Yeah. And here's the thing I think for my parent entrepreneurs that I want you to remember. Your kids are not a distraction from your personal brand. I believe they are the most authentic part of your personal brand. Let me share how one of our Dark Horse parents does this, and I think she does this quite brilliantly. She films her morning routine with her kids around. Maybe not just directly involving them, but certainly if she's in the room with them, she's, hey, there are my kids over there doing whatever it is they do. In some of her content, she even shows how she handles business calls during kids' playtime. You don't have to have all this, quiet, I need to talk to somebody. No, shh, dad's on the phone. No, who cares? It's part of your life. Now, if they're getting too rambunctious, of course, you get a little check on it right there. And she also documents the reality of being an entrepreneur, of her entrepreneurial parenting life. And guess what? Her engagement is up 3 times more than when she was trying to look professional all the time, when she was trying to hide all her authenticity. Yeah? Okay. So here's your daily content capture system. 3 steps. In the morning, record maybe a 2-minute thought while you're making breakfast. Just go from 5 minutes, go down 2 minutes. In the afternoon, take a behind the scenes photo while you're doing something in your normal life. Maybe it's with the kids' activities. Maybe it's cleaning. I don't know what it is, whatever it is you do in your world. With me, it would probably be out in the farm with my dogs. In the evening, share 1 lesson learned while you're putting the kids down for the day. There it is. Boom. And here's the game changer. We'll call these legacy moments. Yeah. Document your kids watching you work. Oh, yeah. How about sharing some of the lessons you're teaching them while they're watching you work? Did they ask you about that spreadsheet? Turn on the recorder and share what you're teaching them and show how entrepreneurship is shaping your family and shaping your legacy. Because here's what most personal brand gurus miss. Your biggest differentiator isn't your expertise. It's your experience as a parent entrepreneur. I'm just saying it. I truly believe this. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but Tracy, what if my kids don't want to be a part of my brand? That's fine. That's actually perfect. Because now we're going to talk about boundaries and balance. Yeah? We'll call this the brand boundary blueprint. Okay?
The Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
Number 1, you're going to set clear family guidelines. Decide what moments in your life stay private. We all have the private side of us. There are things in my world I will never share. Well, not many of them, but there's stuff out there. And maybe it's just things that are just irrelevant. Okay, why would I share that here? I don't know. But decide what those are for you and your family. And then let your kids choose their involvement level. You may have one that says, oh man, I want to be involved in everything. And you may have another one that says, no, thank you, please. Right? And then also, let's create some brand-free family time. This is a time that's just for this. We're not going to break out the camera and bust out the, hey, mom's talking about the business again. No, these are brand-free family times. You could even say this is the 100% present time. Anyway, okay, moving on. Number 2, let's create some content containers. We're going to design some specific times that you're going to create content. We talked about this earlier, right? Just need this little section of time here. We're going to create this little section of time over here. We're going to peel out the pieces from what we created. And then this little section of time over here, we're going to schedule out the stuff that we made and peeled out. Set up a dedicated space. Even, he says, looking over his shoulder, it's just a corner. That's what I have right here. Little corner in my basement, right? It's dedicated to this, but it's my corner. Here's what really goes with that. Even if it's just a corner, I remember back in the early days, late 90s, early 2000s, had a 3-bedroom house, 2 daughters. So it means all the bedrooms were occupied. And there was single level ranch with a drive under garage. All that's irrelevant, but I shared it with you anyway. Here's the reason I share that. I made this designated little space between the kitchen and the dining room where I set up a desk and I set up the computer and set up my files. That became my workspace. Now, other things happen on that workspace. Sometimes the kids did their homework there. But when I sat down at that desk, it was almost like my mindset shifted. I went from being the corporate dad to the parent entrepreneur. And I focused on being that entrepreneur. So wherever you can create your dedicated space, it's a space that you're always going to go to when you're going to get into entrepreneur mode. That way, when you sit down in it, your brain's going, oh, I know what we need to do. Click. I'm now in entrepreneur mode. Got it? Okay. And then keep business and family time separated when needed, as we talked about that brand-free family times, okay? Because here's the thing. The strongest personal brands aren't built on constant exposure. They're built on intentional sharing. Think about it. They're built on intentionally sharing content that helps people solve problems. So let me share something powerful with you here. Another one of my Dark Horse parents who shares family moments, but she does it once a week and she calls it Family Friday. The rest of her content, pure value, pure expertise. And guess what? Those Family Friday posts, they get some of the highest engagement because they're special and they're not oversaturated. I'm not seeing a picture at 3, 4, 5 times a day about her amazing kids doing all these amazing things about their in their yard. No, I'm not getting oversaturated with that. I'm getting her value, getting her expertise. And then on Fridays, I'm getting that little sprinkle of, oh, look, this is kind of cool how she brings her family and involves it with that. You see how that works? That balance? Now, this leads almost perfectly in today's Whiskered Wisdom, because I'm about to show you how you can create high impact content in the smallest little window of time possible. Okay, so this is another one of those moments, ladies and gentlemen, whatever you're doing right now, I want you to just pause, come back to me, and lean in close, because this one simple tactic can transform your personal brand within the next, let's say 30 days. All right, I'm trying to be nice. I don't want to exaggerate, okay? I'm going to call this the 15-minute content sprint. You've heard me call these 15-minute blocks different things. It is specifically designed for busy entrepreneurs, especially my busy parent entrepreneurs who think they do not have the time to build a personal brand. That's the reason why I did this entire episode is this moment right here. And this is exactly how it works. Step 1 is the setup. We're talking 2 minutes here. Grab your phone, find a quiet spot, even if it's in your car while you're in the school pickup line. Maybe it's a closet. I don't care. I remember recording some of my podcast episodes in a closet. And open up your notes app. All right. 3 steps, 2 minutes. Step 2, 10 minutes. This is the write down section. Write down one challenge that you faced recently, more specifically today. Write down how you solved that challenge and then write down what you learned. Then who else might need this solution? Okay. The challenge you faced, how you solved it, what you learned, who else might need this solution? This is probably a 10-minute piece of your exercise. So we're 12 minutes in now. Okay. We only got 3 minutes left, Tracy. I know. Bear with me. In the last 3 minutes, this is the share. You're going to record yourself talking about the points that you made on those notes. No editing, no retakes, just raw, real value. You just wrote it down. It should be fresh in your head. You just overcame the challenge today. So still fresh in your head. So pop it out. 3 minutes. Record a quick little 3-minute video. You're not doing all this magic stuff, no. Raw, real value. Here's the magic. When you do this 3 times a week, you'll have enough content for your entire personal brand. I'm just saying. Let me show you how this happens over time. Week 1 and 2, you're going to start to build the habit. Your content will start to feel more natural as you do this, and you'll start seeing content opportunities around you everywhere. Right? It won't be the first day. It might be day 3 or day 4. The first couple of days, it's going to feel a little weird, right? Why am I doing this? Oh my God. But as you keep doing it, week 1 and week 2, you'll build the habit. Your content will begin to feel more natural and you'll start seeing opportunities everywhere. Little things that you resolved that are problems for other people that you can help them solve. Week 3 and 4, people are going to start to engage more. Wait a minute. She's doing this more regularly. Wow, that was my problem. How did I not know that? Let me go check out some of her other content. You'll start to get messages about how real your content feels. People are going to start to vibe with you. And as a result, your confidence is going to start to grow. Yeah? You feel me? Okay. Week 5 and 6, your audience, and they may start this sooner, but certainly by week 5 and 6, your audience is going to start to ask you questions. Opportunities are going to start to appear. They're going to start popping up like little gremlins, right? Little groundhogs, okay? And your brand will begin to gain momentum. But here's the real power, ladies and gentlemen. It isn't about the content you're creating. It's about training yourself to see the value that you can share in your daily experience. There are little things little problems that you're solving that other people are like, oh my God, if I could just solve that. You've already created that solution. That's what you need to get out there. So you got to start looking around. And the only way you're going to start looking around is by starting to pay attention. Here's the best part. Your kids are going to see you turning challenges into opportunities. They're going to see you turning problems into solutions, and they're going to see you turning real life into real value. Yeah. So take this action today, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, today. Actually, now that I've given you the instructions, hit pause and start making your first notes right now, and then come back and finish listening. Okay. The next time that you solve a problem in your business life, in your personal life, in your family life, that, my friend, is your first piece of content. Remember, perfect personal brands do not inspire people. Real personal brands, those are the ones that inspire people. Okay. Now, before we wrap up this episode, let me bring this home and recap everything we've uncovered about building a personal brand that actually works in 2025. Here we are in January. We're almost the end of January. Okay. So we've busted the 3 myths that could quite probably be holding you back right now. First, the personal brand is about perfection. No, it's not. Remember, while you're waiting to be perfect, someone else is out there being profitable. Okay. Second, that you need to be famous. Big myth. We proved that focused influence beats random followers every single time, hands down, no doubts. Just mic drop right there. And a small, engaged audience that trusts you will always outperform this large, lukewarm, random following. Got it? Okay. Look, I only have probably about 900 avid listeners of this podcast. I have thousands of downloads, but only about 900 avid listeners. And I know some of them come in, go out, come back in, come back, go out. I don't need a Joe Rogan level of following. You feel me? Okay. And then number 3, the myth that it's all about you. Remember those podcast pitches I told you about? Yeah. We discovered how serving others actually builds your brand far faster than that self-promotion style ever could. So, some takeaways I want you to remember. Authenticity beats perfection. Local influence tops global recognition. Legacy outperforms trending sounds or anything else. And system beats sporadic effort. That's why I gave you all those little short steps. I didn't give you 14 steps to follow. It was like 2 and 3. Okay. Here's your action steps for today. 4 of them, not 14, 4. Implement that 15-minute content sprint I told you about. Create your brand boundary blueprint. Start documenting your daily wins and the lessons you gain from them, and then begin building your content multiplication system. You're going to need to start documenting them to do that. Okay. 4 steps. That's it. Bing, bang, boom. And listen up, because I think this is really important. If today's episode lit a little fire on you, just a little bit, a little spark. Okay. There's 2 things I'd like you to do right now. First, you need to be a part of the Dark Horse Insider newsletter. This is not your typical, here's what worked 5 years ago newsletter. No. This is weekly actionable intelligence about building your personal brand and other digital marketing strategies, all while managing your family life. Plus, there's interviews from some of the big names in the space inside there that I never bring onto the podcast. Only my newsletter readers get this content. Okay. Head on over to darkhorseschooling.com/newsletter, or just go down and click the link down in the show notes. We'll make that super easy for you. And second, I want to hear from you. I do. Okay. Tracy at darkhorseschooling.com. What is the biggest personal branding myth that you have had to overcome? Okay. Maybe what's the biggest personal branding struggle that you're having right now? Drop it in the comments if you're listening to this online someplace, or shoot me an email at the email address I just gave you. I read and respond to every single message personally. No AI bots allowed. Okay. Because here's the truth, ladies and gentlemen, your personal brand isn't just about you anymore. It's about the legacy that you're trying to build and the lives that you are going to impact as a Dark Horse entrepreneur. Until next time, this is Tracy Brinkmann reminding you to think successfully and take action.
Hey, my Dark Horse entrepreneurs, thanks for investing your precious time with us today. I know that between soccer practice and bedtime stories, every single minute counts. And that's exactly why I created the Dark Horse Insider, your weekly dose of digital marketing strategies, all designed specifically for my busy entrepreneurs, especially my busy parent entrepreneurs. If you're ready to turn those small pockets of time into profitable momentum, head on over to darkhorseinsider.com. darkhorseinsider.com and join our free newsletter, because we Dark Horses do not just run the race, we change how the race is won. Until next time, think successfully and take action. DarkHorseInsider.com.